Hey everyone, Kurt Demera here, PDGA number 47356. I thought I'd do a little in the bag with you. Let's get started. I am currently throwing the Grip EQ A-Series Tour Bag. I am loving this bag. I used to throw a PDGA Tour Bag with the bag straps. It ended up really fatiguing my back, and the backpack style has tremendously helped with that. So I'm very much enjoying that bag. Let's talk putters. I putt with the Judge. I carry two different ones. I have the Classic Soft and I also have Classic Blend. Classic Soft used to be what I did all of my main putting with, and I've recently switched that over to the Blend. I'm really digging the Blend right now. The Classic Soft has kind of turned into my approach shot, stuff I need to come over a little bit before it fades out to the basket, or if I'm looking for play like that. But overall, the Classic Blend is what I'm now putting with. I also throw a couple other putters. Let's check those out. I'm throwing the Zero Soft Mercy. This guy is pretty much my driving putter. If I need to make a drive off the tee that's not any sort of a turnover but more of a straight laser line, general fade off, that kind of thing, I'm throwing the Mercy. I'm loving it. It's very much like the Wizard used to be for me. That was my go-to driving putter, and this guy has filled that slot for me 100%. And I carry one other putter, only used for certain shots. I'm throwing the Cenis. I just picked up one in the medium zero plastic. I want to give that a shot, but the Cenis has been pretty cool for me. It's more of just a, it's coming over, it's overstable putter. Very specific uses for me. Doesn't come out too much, but when I need it, it's key. So let's talk a little bit about mid-ranges. I carry 4 different mid-ranges. I am carrying a Amworld's Prototype Verdict in the Moonshine plastic. I picked one of these guys up right when they came out. This guy is my, I know it's gonna fade and park it kind of mid-range. Driving this guy pretty good. It's got a lot of glide on it, but I know it's gonna stay true and finish hard. Next, I've got a first run Lucid Suspect. I really enjoy some of the opaque Lucid plastics. This guy reminds me of the rocks that I was throwing, and kind of filled that spot. Not quite as stable as the Verdict, but definitely a true stable mid-range for me. I really enjoy this one. I also am carrying a Lucid First Run Truth. The Truth for me was my buzz replacement. I was super excited when they came out with this disc, and I heard a lot of hype about it. It's very similar, and I'm able to achieve the same stuff that I was achieving with my buzzes with the Truth. And my last mid-range, I am throwing a Tournament Plastic Tursaz. I'm loving this thing. It's sneaky long. I can put it on nice dead straight lines. I can put it on nice lines that just kind of pull out to the right a little bit and finish flat, or I can turn them over. So it's a really useful disc. I use it a lot when I'm in the woods, trying to get around some stuff. And even if I just need to go a little bit farther than some of my other mid-ranges, that sounds a little crazy, but this guy really does the trick for me. Let's talk fairway drivers. Carry a couple of those. First up, Saint Pro. Saint Pro has been key for me. I was a big T-Bird fan, and that was the last real slot that I needed to figure out what to do within my bag when it came to switching over to all Trilogy discs. I carry 2 of them. The Opto, for me, is my beefy, stable T-Bird. I can really power down on this guy, and I know that it's going to fly straight and it's going to finish hard. It's really predictable, and has finally cinched that gap that was in my bag that I needed to fill up and take over the T-Bird slot. I'm also carrying it in the Gold line, and the Gold line for me is more like a Star T-Bird, something like that. It doesn't have quite as much stability as the Opto, so it's nicer throwing a straight line kind of hit where you need to hit, and it doesn't have quite as much fade. So depending on exactly what the shot is, I'll switch between this and the Opto. But the Saint Pro, I'm loving it right now. That's seriously awesome. I'm also carrying 2 escapes. I have a Biofusion, and this guy for me is slightly more stable than the next one, which is the Lucid Escape. But the Bio for me holds nice little tight S-lines. Kind of was, I'd say it's similar to like a TL, maybe a little bit longer. But this guy is really good. I use the first run Lucid one more than I use the Biofusion. This guy's got a killer S-line since it's beat in a little bit, and I know it's going to fade back, but it's not, you know, so overstable, say as the Saint Pro. But I'm loving this disc. Again, I got that in like a nice milky Lucid plastic, which I'm really digging a lot. Last fairway that I have would be the Underworld. I always had problems with stuff like Leopards, other discs like that. Never really figured one out. Everybody said, oh, you need to get one of those. This happened to work for me. I don't know why, but the Underworld was something that just plays nice for me. I can hyzer flip it, nice straight stuff that fades straight, or I can throw it flat knowing that it's going to pull over for me. I've even been able to throw some short rollers with this guy too. Underworld's pretty cool. And distance driver, so let's do that. Do them part by part here. So shorter, I have a Opto XXX. Not sure if this guy's going to stay in my bag. The Saint Pro might have kind of tipped it over. Also another disc that I'm going to mention later may actually kind of fill that between those two. This guy was kind of my Firebird replacement. I'm finding that it's a little bit shorter. I really only use it for utility stuff. If I need to get out of trouble or I need something that's a little bit shorter, longer than a mid-range, but kind of not quite super distance driver overstable, I've been throwing the XXX, but it's mainly a utility disc for me. The Sword, I've had this for quite a while now. This is in the tournament plastic. It really reminds me of some of the older pre-flight number Star Wraiths. I had one of those a long time ago, lost it. I love that disc. And I found that in this tournament plastic Sword. It's only a 170 gram, and once it beat in, I'm loving it. It's playing nice S-curves for me. I can really bomb it. Overall, a solid disc. It's been in my bag for a while since I started making my switch over to all Trilogy plastic. Next up, I carry 3 Trespasses. The Biofusion for me is the one that I've had in my bag the longest, and I have found that this guy's wearing into being a really nice, slightly understable Trespass. I wouldn't call it understable, but it plays some nice big S-lines for me, and I'm getting some killer distance with this Biofusion. The newest addition to my bag as far as Trespass goes is the Lucid. I'm still kind of finding its place in my bag and whether or not it's going to stay in my bag. It's a solid disc. I'm finding that it's in between the Biofusion and the Fusion. Sometimes I pull it out, sometimes I don't. I'm still kind of getting to know this one a little bit. Great disc. The Fusion Trespass, I have this guy in first run, and I would say it's the more stable of all the Trespasses that I'm throwing. With that being said, it's not overstable. It's still playing real tight little S-lines for me. If I have a headwind, it does kind of get a little squirrely in the wind, and that's going to bring me into the next discs that I'm going to talk about here. I have recently started throwing a Giant. I had one earlier on. It was a pop-top one, also in tournament plastic, and it was just absolutely meaty, beefy, overstable. It just didn't work for me because it was too overstable. I recently picked up this one. It is not a pop-top one, and it's a lot more controllable for me. It's a little bit shorter than my Trespasses, and I think this one also might be fighting for that XXX spot. I know that might sound a little crazy. They're a little bit different speed-wise, but between the Saint Pro and this Giant, I'm finding that they can cover the duties that the Triple X can cover, so it may bounce the Triple X out of the bag for me. I'm still getting to know this one a little bit just because the first one I had was so oddball, I guess. But I think this guy's going to stay in the bag, and I think it's going to be really useful. I'm also throwing a Gold Line Bolt. This one and the Tournament Plastic King are kind of a little bit of an overlap, I think, in my bag. I'm still trying to figure it out. This guy is playing some just giant S-curves in the air for me, slightly understable. If I hyzer flip it, it's doing great. I've had this Tournament Plastic King for a really long time, so it's really, really beat up. Maybe I just need to go with a newer King instead of the Bolt. I'm giving him a try. The King's going to stay in my bag. It's my long distance roller as well. This guy's a little bit flatter, more of like a speckled kind of sparkle tournament plastic. I really love the King. I've had it for a really long time. We'll see what happens with the Bolt. I might replace it with another King, but the Bolt's solid as well. My compliment to my trespasses recently has been the World. This guy has surprised me like crazy. Based on what everybody was saying early on, I thought that it may be way, way overstable, like maybe like a Stiletto or a Giant. And from my previous experiences with the Giant, I was kind of like, I don't know. I hope that works for me. This thing is money. It is my go-to overstable kind of shot if I need to do something similar with my trespass and there's a little wind or something like that. The World is totally like taking that spot for me. The Giant is definitely more stable than the World is for me if I need to throw something really, really overstable. But if I just need to throw a true stable shot where there's wind concern, the World's doing crazy good stuff for me. I'm able to throw this guy really far, really fast, and I can count on it not flipping over for me in the wind. That's pretty much it, guys. That is my bag at the moment. I'm sure things will change in the future. I plan on doing more videos about different things coming up here, so take a look and keep an eye out for those. Thanks a lot for hanging tight with me.